Hello students, welcome to you on my YouTube channel Pawan Agnihotri Physics Maths Classes. Today I am going to take the fourth chapter of ICSE Physics, which is refraction. Today we will study about the refraction. So before now see here, there is one term, rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light. As we know that light is a form of energy which helps to us in observing, in seeing the other objects. We can see this only when some light falls upon it and it gets reflected from here and reaches to our eyes. Then it will be visible to us. So what is the rectilinear propagation of light? It states that light always travels in a straight line. Light always travels in a straight line. Travels in a straight line. But here it is one thing you have to see, that medium should remain same. It will be traveling in the straight line in the same medium. But if the medium will change, then what will happen? It will deviate. So light always travels in the straight line in a medium. Now what is the speed of light in vacuum? So as we know that speed of light in vacuum, which we denote by the symbol c. This is the standard symbol which is used for representing speed of light in vacuum. 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. If you see speed of light in glass, then it is 2.2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Then the speed of light in water, it is 2.25 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. You have to remember these values. These are the speed of light in vacuum. In air, it also travels with the same speed in air. In glass, it is 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. In water, it travels with 2.25 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Now there is one term, optical medium. Optical medium is that medium through which the light can travel. That medium through which light can travel is known as optical medium. There are two properties of the optical medium. One is the denser medium and other is the rarer medium. What is denser medium and what is rarer medium? So you can see here, if you compare between air and water, if you compare, these are the comparative properties, denser and rarer. As we know that light travels faster in air as compared to water. So air will be rarer and water will be denser. But if you see water and glass, so you can see here speed of light is more in water as compared to glass. In water it is 2.25 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Glass only 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So in these two, this will be the rarer and this will be the denser. So rarer and denser optical medium, these are the relative properties. A medium is said to be rarer as compared to other if the speed of light in that medium is more as compared to other. कोई भी मीडियम दूसरे मीडियम के कंपैरिजन में रेयरर होगा if the speed of light in that medium is more as compared to the other medium. Then it will be the rarer medium. Now what is refraction of light? Refraction. So see here, as we know that when the light travels in the same medium, it will always travel in the straight line. It will not deviate from its medium. But when it goes from one optical medium to the other optical medium, when light travels from one optical medium to the other optical medium, then what will happen? It will deviate from its path. When light travels from one optical medium to the other optical medium obliquely. Obliquely means slantingly. If light is traveling from one optical medium to the other optical medium obliquely, then it will deviate from its path at the surface separating both the medium. Suppose here this is a surface, you can see here, this I am taking. Here this is a surface, it separates below this, above this there is air, below this there is glass. Above this there is air, below this there is water. It's clear? This is the surface separating two medium. This surface is the surface separating two medium, which we have drawn here as a line. So suppose a ray of light falls obliquely. Obliquely means slantingly. If a ray of light falls obliquely from one medium to the other. So see here. Here in this side there is one medium 1, and in this side there is medium 2. You can see here. If there is same medium in both sides of this surface, if there is same medium in both sides of this surface, let me draw the diagram, then I am explaining. Here this is a surface separating two optical mediums, SOH dash. This is a ray of light AO, it's clear, which falls on this surface slantingly, obliquely. It's clear. Here it is traveling in this direction, that's why I put the arrow this. Now if there is same medium in both sides of this surface, means in both sides of this surface there is the same medium, then this ray would have gone along the dotted direction. It would have gone along the dotted direction. But since the medium is different, so what will happen? Now it will not go in the same direction. Now it will deviate from its path. It will deviate from its path. And it is deviating from its path. It may go in this direction or it may go in this direction. Means it may go in this side of the dotted line or it may go in this side of the dotted line. What is the dotted line? It is the original direction of incident ray. Original direction of incident ray. Now what is incident ray? This ray is incident ray. Here ray AO is incident ray. You can see here. This is the point of incidence. O is point of incidence. It's clear. This is what SOH test. This is surface separating both medium. Both medium. So you can see here, this ray of light is falling, ray of light AO is falling on this surface SOH dash, which is separating two medium, medium 1 and medium 2. Therefore, what will happen? After this surface, it will go in some other direction. It will not go in this direction. Suppose it is going in this direction. It is going in this direction. It's clear? This ray is known as the refracted ray. It is refracted ray. Now see here. This we have named as B. This we have named as B. At the point of incidence, you draw a normal to the surface SOH dash. At the point of incidence O, you draw a normal to the surface SOH dash. Here a normal has been drawn. This normal has been drawn. This is the normal at point of incidence. At point of incidence. So you can see here, this is the incident ray, this is the normal, this angle is known as angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. And this we denote by symbol I. This angle between refracted ray and normal is known as angle of refraction. Reflection. So see here, when a ray of light is going obliquely from one optical medium to the other optical medium, then it deviates from its path at the surface separating both medium. This phenomena is known as refraction. What is refraction? It is the phenomena of bending of ray of light. It is the phenomena of deviation of the ray of light when it goes obliquely from one optical medium to the other optical medium at the surface separating both medium. It's clear? What is refraction? It is the phenomena of bending of ray of light from one optical bending of ray of light at the surface separating both medium when it goes obliquely from one optical medium to the other optical medium. Obliquely means slantingly. Then, so this phenomena is known as refraction. You can see here ray of light is going from this medium to this medium, and after refraction what happens? After deviation what happens? It bends towards the normal. It is bending towards the normal, but it may bend away from the normal also. One more diagram I am drawing here. Here you can see the ray will deviate away from the normal. You can see here this is SOS dash, this is the refracting surface. It is the surface at which the deviation takes place. This is refracting surface. This is incident ray AO. This is the refracted ray BO. It's clear? And here this is the normal NO dash. This we can denote by C. Here we have denoted it by C. It's clear? So here what will happen? If there is same medium in both sides of this surface, then the ray would have gone along the dotted direction. But since the medium is not same, this is the medium 1 and here medium 2. It's clear? So what will happen? It will deviate from its path. It will deviate from its path means here it is not going along the dotted direction. Here it is deviating away from the normal. Away from the normal, you will find that this angle will be bigger and this angle will be smaller. I is smaller and R is bigger. It is deviating away from the normal. Now, when it will deviate in this type, when it will deviate in that type, how will you find? So see here, if a ray is going from rarer to denser, rarer to denser means it is moving from one medium to another such that its speed decreases, velocity decreases. If ray of light is going from one medium to the other such that its velocity of light is decreasing, then it is going rarer to denser. And when it goes rarer to denser, what will happen? It will bend towards the normal. But if it moves from medium 1 to the medium 2 such that its velocity increases, and since it is increasing, therefore it is moving from where to where? Denser to rarer. So here it was moving rarer to denser. Here it is moving denser to rarer. So you remember this thing. If a ray of light is moving from rarer to the denser, then it will deviate towards the normal. If it is going from denser to rarer, it will deviate away from the normal. but it will deviate only when it is falling obliquely. Obliquely means tirchi, that is, it is falling slantingly. It's clear? Suppose if it is not falling obliquely, suppose if it is falling perpendicularly, in that case what will happen? For example, here ray of light is falling perpendicularly. It is falling perpendicularly to the refracting surface. It's clear? So what will happen? It will pass without deviation. Means there will be no refraction. There will be no refraction. It will pass without deviation. There will be no refraction. But what will happen to the speed of light? Yes, it will definitely reduce. Suppose it is air and it is glass. So what will happen? Here it will travel with 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Here it will travel with 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. But deviation will not take place because it is falling perpendicularly to the surface separating both medium. It's clear? Deviation will not take place, and deviation is not taking place, therefore there is no refraction. Refraction means there will be the bending of ray of light when it goes obliquely from one optical medium to the other optical medium. Now see here, what is the angle of incidence? Already I have told, angle between incident ray and normal. Angle of refraction, angle between refracted ray and normal. In this diagram you can see here that this is the angle I, this is angle R. So this is angle I, so this will also be equal to I because these two are the vertical opposite angle. This dotted angle will also be I, means here angle I is greater than angle R. Here you can see here this angle will be equal to this angle. It's clear? Because this is a straight line, this is another straight line, these two are vertical angles. So this will be I, means here I will be smaller than R. It's clear? So this you remember that if it is going from rarer to the denser, angle I will be bigger, R will be smaller. Here if denser to rarer, angle I will be smaller, R will be bigger. If it is falling perpendicularly, so you can see here when it is falling perpendicularly, then what is the normal here? Here what will be the point of incidence? Point of incidence is this. What will be the normal? Normal will be along the incident ray. Normal will be along the incident ray. So you can see here, incident ray is coinciding to the normal. What will be I? It is 0. R, it is also 0. It's clear? Means when a ray of light falls perpendicularly to the surface separating both medium, then what will happen? What will happen? It will not deviate. There will be no refraction, but the speed of light will change. It's clear? Now there is one more condition in which light do not deviate. What that is the if optical density of both the medium is same. If the density of this medium is same and this medium, though both the medium have different composition. It is made up of some other material, it is made up of some other material, but their optical densities are same. Optical densities are same, therefore what will happen? Light will travel in both the medium with same speed, and light will travel in both the medium with same speed. Then what will happen? Even if it is falling slantingly, it will go straight. It's clear? So all of you remember this thing. Suppose two mediums which have different composition, means they are made up of different type of material, but their optical density is same. Optical density is same, therefore light will travel in them with the same speed. And when light will travel in them with the same speed, then what will happen? Even if the light is falling obliquely, it will go without deviation. There will be no refraction. So refraction is not observed in two cases. Number one, if it is falling perpendicularly to the surface separating both medium. Number two, if it is traveling in between two mediums which have the same optical density, in which the speed of light is same. It's clear? So these are the two conditions in which there will be no refraction. Then what is the cause of refraction? So cause of refraction is, it is due to the different speed of light in different medium. It is due to the different speed of light in different medium. Light is having different speeds in the different medium. That's why refraction take place. That's why refraction take place. Now see here, during refraction, which physical quantity will change? Refraction, which physical quantity will change? So see here, number one, velocity of light will change. Number two, its wavelength will also change. Wavelength will also change. It's clear? Number three, intensity of light will also be changed. But frequency do not change. Frequency of light will not change. This will not change. But these three will be changed. Velocity will change, wavelength will change, and intensity of light will change. But the frequency, that will not change, because the frequency is a property which is related with the source of light. And source of light is same for both the medium. In both the medium, light is coming from the same source. Light is coming from the same source, and source is same. Therefore, what will happen? Frequency will remain unchanged. It's clear? Now see here. After this, there are two laws of refraction. So what is the first law of refraction? First law of refraction states that incident ray, you can see here, first law, incident ray, refracted ray and normal at the point of incidence, all lies on same plane. All lies on same plane. Here you can see incident ray AO, it is lying on the plane of this white board. So refracted ray OB will also be on the plane of white board. It cannot go in this direction. It cannot go along this direction, which I am showing by the scale. Means it cannot go in this direction. If it is on the plane of white board, then refracted ray will also be in the plane of white board. It cannot go in this direction. So what is the first law? First law says that the incident ray, refracted ray and normal is this. All will lie on the same plane. It's clear? Incident ray, refracted ray and normal all will lie on the same plane. Number two, second law. For all values of angle of incidence, sine of angle of incidence. Sine means that is sine theta, cosine theta, that thing. That's clear. For all values of angle of incidence, sine of angle of incidence bears a constant ratio with the sine of angle of refraction. Bears a constant ratio with the sine of angle of refraction for a given pair of media. Means for all values of angle of incidence, ratio between sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. It is constant for a given pair of media. Now what is its meaning? So first you see, suppose the same diagram. Here ray of light is traveling from air to glass. And for different angle of incidence in air, you determine though according to diagram it is not correct. It's clear because it is moving away from the normal, but here you can make this. It's clear. Suppose this is the refracted ray. This will be the R. Now, yes. So suppose a ray of light is going from air to glass, and for different angle of incidence in air. Suppose when angle of incidence is I1, angle of refraction comes out R1. When angle of incidence is I2, angle of refraction comes out R2. When angle of incidence is I3, angle of refraction comes out R3. When it comes out I4, it is R4. It's clear? When angle of incidence is I4, angle of refraction comes out I4. Now if you find out sin I1 upon sin R1, then sin I2 upon sin R2, then sin I3 upon sin R3, then sin I4 upon sin R4, you will find that they will be constant. All those will be constant. So what is the second law? For all values of angle of incidence, ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. This is known as Snell's law. This is known as Snell's law. This law, which is the second law, is known as Snell's law. Now see here, this constant, you can see, this constant sin I upon sin R, we denote by n, or there is a Greek letter mu. Mu. This is the mu. It's clear. Mu. Mu. By a Greek letter mu, it is denoted by this MeU, perhaps. MeU. We denote by a Greek letter mu. What will be its unit? So as you know that sine R, unitless sine I, sine 30, 1 upon 2, it has no unit. It's clear. So it is unitless. It don't have any unit, and it is a ratio. Ratio don't have any unit. Ratio don't have any unit. Now this constant is known as refractive index. What is refractive index? Refractive index. In short, we write it as Ri. So you can see here, this constant is known as refractive index of the medium in which refracted ray is situated, means of this medium, with respect to the medium in which incident ray is situated. That is, with respect to the medium 2, 1. According to this diagram, this is the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to the medium 1. How will you represent it? 1 mu 2. This thing we will represent by this way. This means Ri of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. From here you can see rays traveling from 1 to 2. Incident ray is in 1 and refracted ray is in the medium 2. Take 1 mu 2. This is known as refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. As we know that air we symbolize by symbol A, glass we represent by the symbol G, and water we represent by W. What is ANG? ANG. So it is the refractive index of glass with respect to air. Ri of glass with respect to air. Suppose if you write GNA, GNA means Ri of which medium? Air with respect to glass. Air with respect, WRT means with respect to glass. In place of n we can also write mu. Suppose it is A mu W, refractive index of water with respect to air. Suppose if you have written W mu A, then refractive index of air with respect to water. So what is this ratio? This ratio is the refractive index of the medium in which refracted ray is situated with respect to the medium in which incident ray is situated. It has no unit. What is its physical significance? Its physical significance is that it decides the measure of bending. It is the measure of bending. Measure of bending means you can see from here. Here there is one diagram. How it is the measure of bending. So it's clear. I am taking most simple case. Here this is the medium 1, medium 1, and in downward side, here in this side, this is the medium A and this is the medium B. A ray, there are two parallel rays are falling on the surface separating. These two rays are parallel to each other. This is separating, this surface is separating to medium 1 and medium A. This surface is separating medium 1 and medium B. It's clear? So since the rays are parallel, so what will happen? Angle of incidence will be same. Angle of incidence will be same. Suppose here it goes this way, and here it goes in which case there is more bending. So you can see here there is more bending, here it is less bending. Here it bends less, here it bends more. It's clear? Means the difference of I and R. This angle is R, this is I. The difference of these two angles is large in case A. There is more bending, therefore its refractive index will be more and its refractive index will be less. So greater the refractive index, more will be the relative bending. Greater the refractive index, more will be the relative bending. Now one more thing. Here you can see, if you determine refractive index of glass once with respect to air, A mu G, and then you find refractive index of glass with respect to water, both values will be different. Both values will be different. It's clear? Means the refractive index of medium changes on changing the surrounding medium. Refractive index of the medium changes on changing the surrounding medium. Glass has some refractive index with respect to air. It has some other refractive index with respect to water. It will have some other refractive index with respect to alcohol. It's clear? So glass is having different refractive indices with respect to different surrounding medium. It's clear? Now there is one term, absolute refractive index. Absolute refractive index. So you can see here. Absolute refractive index. It is the refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum. It is the refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum. That is known as the absolute refractive index. Refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum is known as absolute refractive index. And how it is determined? It is determined by the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in that medium. Means what will be the absolute refractive index of medium M? It is equal to speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in that medium. Ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in that medium. As we know that speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. It is Vm. Means more the value of V, less will be mu. More the value of V, less will be mu. Means absolute refractive index is inversely proportional to the velocity of light. It is inversely proportional to the velocity of light. It's clear? So absolute refractive index, it is the refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum. If you find out mu Wg, what will be mu G? It is C upon Vg. That is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2 into 10 to the power 8. 10 to the power 8 will be cancelled. 3 upon 2 will be 1.5. If you see mu W, it is C upon Vw. That is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2.25 into 10 to the power 8. that is equals to 300 upon 225, that is equals to 4 upon 3, means 1.33. So this is the absolute refractive index. Absolute refractive index of any medium is equal to the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in that medium. It is the refractive index of any medium with respect to air or vacuum. Unless until it is not stated, refractive index means absolute refractive index. If it is given that the refractive index of this medium is 1 upon 2, it means it is the absolute refractive index. This we will remember. Unless until it is not stated specifically, refractive index means absolute refractive index. Now you can see here, when we are determining the absolute refractive index, means refractive index with respect to air, then we take the speed of air in numerator and speed of light in medium is denominator. See here, when we are determining the absolute refractive index, means refractive index with respect to air, then we take the velocity of light in air in numerator and velocity of light in medium m in denominator. So suppose if one medium is having velocity of light v1, second medium is having velocity of light v2, and you write 1 mu2. 1 mu2 means Ri of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. With respect to medium 1, how will you write? When we are determining with respect to air, its velocity of light in this medium is in numerator and velocity of light in this medium is in denominator. So here also velocity of light of this medium will be in numerator and of this medium it will be in denominator. Means 1 mu 2 equals to V1 upon V2. 1 mu 2 equals to V1 upon V2. This is also one formula. You can see here, I am determining here. You can see, if we determine W mu G, W mu G, so it will be equals to VW upon Vg. What is VW? 2.25 into 10 to the power 8. What is Vg? 2 into 10 to the power 8. So this will be equals to 1.125. This will be W mu G. It's clear. VW upon Vg. Now this formula can be written in one more way. 1 mu 2. This is equals to V1 upon V2. It's clear. Now we can write this, we can rearrange the terms C upon V2 divided by C upon V1. What is, if you simplify this, I am simplifying here, C upon V2, and this is in denominator, so it will invert and multiply. So V1 upon C, C and C will be cancelled, that is V1 upon V2. What is C upon V2? C upon V2 means mu 2. Means this is the absolute Ri of medium 2, and C upon V1 means it is mu 1. It is mu 1. It's clear. So this is also one formula. In terms of velocity, it will be V1 upon V2. In terms of absolute Ri, it is mu 2 upon mu 1. It is mu 2 upon mu 1. Now see here, you can see, if we determine W mu G by this formula, so it will be equal to what? Mu G upon mu W. Mu G already you have determined, it is 3 upon 2. Mu W is 4 upon 3. You have determined here 3 upon 2 divided by 4 upon 3, so this is 3 by 2 into 3 upon 4, that is 9 upon 8. If you simplify, it will come out 1.125. The same value will come out. It's clear. Now there is one more formula of refractive index in terms of the wavelength of light. In terms of the wavelength of light. So you can see here. What is the formula of velocity of light? V equals to F into lambda. V equals to F into lambda. Velocity equals to frequency into wavelength. 1 mu 2. Suppose a ray of light is going from medium 1 to the medium 2. So 1 mu 2 in terms of, it is V1 upon V2. V1 you can write F lambda 1 because frequency do not change. So it will remain same everywhere. F lambda 2. So what is 1 mu 2? Equals to lambda 1 upon lambda 2. Here we can assume that 1 is the medium of incident ray, 2 is the medium in which refracted ray is situated. So this is the wavelength of incident ray upon wavelength of refracted ray. It's clear, this you will understand. Here we can write it as lambda I upon lambda R. It's clear. 1 mu 2 equals to lambda I upon lambda R when ray of light is going from medium 1 to the medium 2. So now you can see here I have done these laws of refraction, cause of refraction you can see in your book 70, 71, 72. These things I have done. It's clear. Effect on speed, frequency, wavelength, that also I have told. Then all these things, conditions of light to pass undeviated, that also I have told. It's clear. Then relationships. So all these things I have done. Then here there is a factors affecting the refractive index. So factors affecting the refractive index. So one is the nature of the medium. Nature of the medium will decide its optical density. Optical density means what will happen? Its velocity of light in that medium will be decided. If it is denser, then velocity of light will be less. Velocity of light is less, then refractive index will be more. As you know that mu m equals to C upon Vm. Is clear? So mu is inversely proportional to V. More the value of V, less will be mu. So if the medium is denser, then what will happen? Velocity of light will be less. And velocity of light is less, then refractive index will be more. Refractive index is more means there will be greater bending. Number 2, it depends upon the physical temperature. If you increase the temperature, what happens to the density? When temperature is increased, density decreases. Why? When temperature is increased, then volume increases. Volume increases, so there is the formula of density, mass upon volume. Volume is increasing, so density is decreasing. Density decreasing means medium will become rarer. Rarer means speed will increase. Speed will increase means refractive index will decrease. So what will happen? On increasing the temperature, medium becomes rarer, refractive index decreases. And number 3, it also depends upon the wavelength of light. So you can see here, this also wavelength of light with view. When we move from this side to this side, here its wavelength is 4000 angstrom and its wavelength is of the order of 8000 angstrom. It's clear? Now what is the effect on the wavelength of the light? So if the wavelength will be more, what will happen? Refractive index will be less. You can see from there mu is inversely proportional to V, means inversely proportional to lambda. V equals to F lambda, F is constant. So more the wavelength, smaller will be the refractive index. More the wavelength, smaller will be the refractive index. And smaller will be the refractive index. So what will happen? There will be less deviation. That's why refractive index of medium decreases with increasing wavelength. That's why red color deviates less as compared to violet. Violet deviate most and red deviate less. It's clear? So this we will remember. Red is deviating least and violet is deviating most. So now this has finished. It's clear? So here up to this I have told, up to page 74. Then from principle of reversibility I will take in the second lecture. So first you watch this video and understand all these things carefully. It's clear? You understand these things carefully. Read up to this chapter, page 74, up to 4.3. Factors affecting the refractive index of medium. Up to here you do. It's clear? Then next video I will upload after 2 days. Means not tomorrow, day after tomorrow I will upload. It's clear? But you keep on doing everything. So, thank you.